Hello. Sorry, guys, just getting this ready. Okay, welcome to our free trainings that we do every week, every Friday since 2021. Actually, it's been Friday, Thursday, back on Fridays, about 6 months now. This is Beat the Banks from Beacon DeFi, your source for all the great tips and tricks of becoming a competent DeFi investor, decentralized finance. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you're a crypto holder, if you hold digital assets and you're looking for a way to put that money to work for you, that's what we do here at Beacon DeFi. We're a DeFi education company. We help onboard people safely and securely into DeFi. We've helped tens of thousands of people do so in the last 4 years. So if you're watching me right now, you're like, I already know about DeFi. That's fine. I want you to share this with your friends and family because right now we're in a situation where we are at the precipice of a lot of really interesting things happening. If you watch our Wednesday podcast, which happens every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, live stream here to Twitter and a bunch of other places. I want to say hello to all of our audience who's watching on my personal abstract stream right now on retake.tv, on our YouTube, Twitter, of course. Let me just repost to my personal Twitter. Again, my name is Chris. I'm your DeFi professor, and let's get going. So, I was making my lunch. I was thinking about something I could I could do for today's show. I just happened to see something about Infinit Labs, and their one-click, their one-click agentic DeFi article, and you know, oftentimes, I talk about the basics on this stream. Why is DeFi important? What can I do with DeFi? How do I get into that? If you check out my Twitter, which is at C Soriano, uh, you can actually find it. You can find a. Let me get. You know what? I'm just going to pull it up. I am just going to pull it up. It's the pinned. It's the pinned post on my profile. It's called the DeFi Starter Pack. Check out the DeFi Starter Pack. Put that here in the comments. You won't see it on Twitter, but if you're on Twitter or Abstract or any of those other spots, but if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, you'll see that. And basically, if you want to send people on what they need to get started in DeFi, it's a very quick article. Would love for you to like, subscribe, follow, and retweet that to your friends. We want to get as many people into decentralized finance as possible. I'm seeing right now, right here on this little Bitcoin Laws is hosting, Genius Act signing ceremony is happening at the White House right now. So what does that mean? We're going to have stablecoin legislation cemented, and we have multiple companies who have said that, the moment the stablecoins are legal, they're launching a stablecoin. People like Bank of America and other large institutions. Guess what, guys? Institutions have front run you guys down here into DeFi, and they're going to be making their own experiences. So, in a world of self custody, which we fully push and promote, it's all about you own your keys, your crypto, and this is your chance to come down and be amongst all of the others that are already out here, and they're finding ways to whether it's trading, whether it's yield NFTs. We cover all that here at Beacon DeFi. So we'll love to have you follow and We'll be doing Twitter Spaces. Actually, we've never done a Twitter Space. I've been doing this for almost 5 years. As Beacon is a little bit over 2 years, and we've never done a Twitter Space. So we're going to start doing that next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, just so you guys are aware. I'll be putting some more things out there. So if you follow me, if you follow Beacon DeFi, what we'll be doing is just weekly shows, kind of what we do with our Wednesday podcast, where we educate our YouTube and our visual audiences and our podcast audiences about, with the news that's coming out. And I have a great panel. We talk about the news. What does that mean for you and your allocation? How can you use that as alpha for what you need to do? We'll be doing something a little bit different with our Twitter Spaces. It's going to be featuring protocols. So I'm going to be working with a lot of our partner protocols, new friends that we make at a lot of the events that I go to. So you can come and check us out and check out those protocols. The first one's going to be next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have Rainmaker, JD Seraphin, great founder in this space. They're coming out with their new token, Rain. So you'll hear a little bit more about that process, how they got to where they are with V2. I guess they're doing video as well with Google VO. So definitely excited to learn more about that. Join us next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern for that out there. So let's talk about Infinit Labs. And essentially the idea that you can set up an AI agent to do things for you with one click. Why would you want to do that? Well, there is something to be said about being in the trenches, being out here, being a full-time yield farmer, and the ability to have automation, convenience, save you from yourself is important. Because in this world, there's so many ways that people can trip up on themselves. With self-custody, a lot of people don't trust themselves. Are you willing to trust an AI agent to take care of normal things for you? And when I'm talking about investment decisions like swapping tokens, bridging money back and forth, if you have concentrated liquidity positions, it can rebalance those. Any other types of things. There's multiple AI agent platforms out there, and shouts out to all the great ones out there that I really enjoy, whether it's teams from Brahma, Giza, many more out there that I'm forgetting right now. But Infinit's got an interesting one because they have a one-click agentic DeFi agent that's available. So definitely wanted to check it out and find out more about how this is going to work. Because if it really is one click, this is something that you may want to consider looking into. Newton's another one. Actually, I was going to write a tweet about them, but they're already launched. So if anybody wants to use Newton, use Newton. It's they just have a DCA agent right now, so literally recurring buys for you. So that's always nice when you can do that. So Infinit.tech. So one thing I definitely want to recommend is, as part of OPSEC or operational security, when you're looking at new, you definitely want to make sure that the project that you're looking at is the official one for that. Another place you can go to verify that is at DeFi Llama. So if I type in Infinit, well, it looks like they're not showing up here. So it looks like we're just going to have to go with what's here on Twitter. Either way, once you find the right URL that you're looking for, you're going to want to click on it and then bookmark it. And we recommend Brave browser to everyone in our community. It's good to have a separate web browser that you use just for investing. You don't want to mix your personal life, any of that algorithmic training, any of the extensions and stuff like that with what you're doing personally. Too many horror stories about that. You want to have a separate email specifically for your investing as well. You just want to compartmentalize as much of that risk as possible. And what's great about Brave, not only are they privacy focused, which we appreciate, they have a wallet, which I don't necessarily recommend either, but if they make great improvements, definitely could be a recommendation. But they have profiles. As you can see, I have plenty of profiles here that I use for different things. What's great is that they're just a separate instance of each one. So if I'm testing wallets, if I'm checking out new ecosystems, I can actually keep them in different profiles, different history, different extension set. It just makes it a lot easier. That's definitely a big pro tip for you if you want to try and make sure you keep everything separate. Now, this is Infinit Labs. They have AI-powered intelligence along with tasks that you can do, and that's really impressive that we're actually at this point Because really, AI agents, if you think about what they were really doing, they've, I'm sure there's some lore out there, but really, we're not even a year in to how many good agents there are out there now. It was more of kind of like a glimmer in the eye this time last year, but now, with the dawn of virtuals and all of these other platforms that came around, like AI16Z, Eliza, they're all working together under one great framework. So that's allowed a lot of different other ecosystems, things like, what Infinit's doing and other big ecosystems like BitTensor, for example, now have all of this available. So what we'll do is we'll just click on Launch App. And again, I'm not trying to dilly-dally. I'm just trying to explain my way through some of this because there are a lot of people who will find a lot of this technology and it kind of flies over their head. And I want to make sure that I can outline this, make it something that anyone can get into. That's really the core thing that we do at Beat the Banks is we try and help make DeFi accessible. Okay, so here's the first parts that we can do. You can get personalized yield strategies across DeFi protocols, tailored to assets in your wallet. There's an actual inference agent that can just answer questions for you, whether it's on research. That's cool. I mean, they're not going to be putting me out of a job, but always good to get help in this way because it's hard to find good answers. Saves your prompts. Real-time Web3 insights, that's fine. And again, I've never used Infinit Labs. I want to put that out there. This is definitely a blind journey because I wanted to share this journey with you guys as we go through it. So, hey, Greg, good to see you, buddy. And it definitely has this tooling upgrade. Honestly, there are a lot of what we call CSS frameworks. If you know your way around web development and web design, there's a lot of these frameworks with a lot of these template type of looks. So, as you see these things, these are very similar to what you're seeing across the board. All right, so let's get started. What can I help you with? Well, from what I was looking at specifically, a one-click setup to what I was trying to set up here. There. Well, first thing I'm definitely going to do is kind of look around what we have here. We have these areas here they were talking about, these goal-oriented tasks is something I'm curious in. So I can literally prompt, how can I maximize returns from 500 USDC? I'm okay with high risk. What are aggressive yield farms right now? Okay, let's start with that. I'm just curious what they say. I have to connect my wallet. Okay. So this is the part that I wanted to get into. So we recommend Rabi Wallet for all EVM chains. I'm guessing that Infinit is on an EVM chain. That would be my guess based on what I'm seeing here. Maybe on base blockchain, it could be on Arbitrum. Either way, I have a Rabi wallet that I can install. But what's beautiful about where we are now in the innovation cycle, we can now use either a Twitter account or a Google login or just a regular email. And the reason why that is good is because that allows you to create a separate wallet just for working with the AI agent. You may be in a situation where you don't want to connect your Rabi wallet or your hardware wallet. You don't want to give that exposure to this agent, not because you don't trust it, but because you're just checking it out, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you have a wallet that has thousands or tens of thousands or your life savings in it, your all your crypto winnings, just to check out if this is cool. So what I'm actually going to do is actually use the Twitter API login. I'm guessing this is going to use Privy. That way I have this to check out. And if I want to use it, I just send funds over to it, which I can easily do here from a different window. Okay, it's going to say login with X. And you can't see this part, but reown, I guess, is the REOWN is what they're using here. So We'll go ahead and approve that. And this is using my DeFi Professor login. Okay, so I have to now sign the message in the wallet. Dislike all of this type of stuff, but it is what it is. There is a cost of doing business. And it's kind of crazy that CAPTCHAs are really just training AIs, right? Seriously? I really just needed one. One would have been good. I don't need three. Oh my God. And this is the type of stuff that, frankly turns me off to signing up for things. And probably the reason why I should have just signed in with the wallet. I mean, really, is there a real reason that I need to do 5 of these? Maybe I missed a square. Maybe that's what it is. And this is just stupid. Okay, so I did not get all of the ones that have a bike in it. There's only one motorcycle there. I don't see any others. God, that's stupid. Put an L in the chat if you thought that was a pretty nasty L. I just oh man. All right. So now. Oh, it's on Ethereum. Oh, with Ethereum, my Ethereum wallet. Okay, cool. So it's created this wallet address for me. That's the one thing that happens when you sign up for an account like this using third-party login, whether it's through Privy or whatever we used for the Twitter access. It creates a wallet for you. So now I can just fund this wallet. So now, from a security standpoint, I recommend you do back up your private key and your seed phrase in a safe spot, like in a write it down on a piece of paper, put it in your safe, that type of thing. Don't put it in your. Don't take a picture of it with your phone. I'm recalling things that people have done in the past that were completely insane. Oh my God. No. I was talking. I was literally talking. I'm not going to do this again. Oh, God. Bridges. Again, this is so insane. And now I have to re-sign the message. Something went wrong. All right, let's just try this again. I've already created the wallet, so I can just click this again. Oh, the joy. There we go. The joy of having to do this more than once. Something went wrong. All right, we'll just use Rabby. Just like, it's so stupid. I'm just like, ugh. Annoying. This battle may have been lost already. We're already, let's see. Okay, fine. Why the Twitter one didn't work, whatever. But I used Rabby. We're okay now. And we're in a situation where, it's hopefully going to continue to work. Remember, the title of this is Infinit Labs One Click. So there's supposed to be some one-click thing where I can use all this to get data that I need. So for example, getting yield farms, it's merging perspectives from the network. It's diving into the well of wisdom, identifying the best pools for yield opportunities, which is interesting because I do have a report for our community members called the Beacon Spotlight. And if this gets better stuff than what I already put out, then, well, interesting. How did it come up with this? First off, I'm not going to do anything on Yearn. That is just a pain. Nothing against Yearn. All right, so it came up with these 4 pools: Spectra, this is on Sonic; Pendle, which is on Phantom Sonic; and then the JobSphere pool on Base. That's interesting. Single-sided, 417. What is JobSphere? Now, I've heard of Spectra, I've heard of Pendle, of course, but I've never heard of JobSphere. So if we're looking for, well, see, this is the part that I'm just like curious about. So if I click on this link, well, let me see, can I have, you know what, then let's ask the agent. Can you help me farm the what was it? The job pool on JobSphere. I don't want to leave. And really, this is the part that's the most interesting, right? Because we want to make sure that it can just do it. Now, we may not be in a position where that actually happens. And again, I may be using this out of context of how Infinit will probably want me to do this. And I am, because it's just telling me how to do it, right? It's telling me what to do. It says I need to get a base enabled wallet like Rabby, not MetaMask. ETH for gas fees, JAV tokens. So I need to go visit this, acquire the JAV token. Okay, so something that we're just not going to do right now. Let's check out something else. So if I click back at home and I had these prompts, right? Again, this is an AI agent for the inference piece. I can ask it to do things for me, do research, DeFi execution. That'll be the next thing we look at. But I do want to do one thing first before we go there, which is explore agents, because this is where the swarm is. And this is what you're going to be looking for if you're coming to Infinit. You're going to want to see all of these agents that can actually do tasks for you. That's the reason why you're here. So let's look at exploring these agents. So we have one for insight, one for yield, discover real-time yield opportunities across all of these blockchains. That's Barrett-chain, Phantom Sonic, Base, BNB chain, Ethereum, Mantle, and Arbitrum. Okay. So this is just helping you with your prompting. I mean, frankly, I'm not going to go to Ethereum right now because gas is just disgusting. So if I'm only using 20 bucks, I'm not going to pay however much in gas, probably at least 20 bucks to do that. Mind share. Okay, so we have, so this is more for research, looks like. But I want execution stuff, right? This is all Barrett chain stuff. We'll skip that for now. We have something for Sonic. We probably can do that. We have Kyber swap, which is swapping any tokens on supported chains. That's good. I'm glad we have the Rabby wallet connected instead of when I would have to fund, because then I'd have to fund that and go through all that. I mean, it's not terrible, but now that I have the Rabby one connected, I can just do this, which is fine. Euler, which is for lending. Show me Euler vaults on Sonic. That looks interesting. Let's start with that. And that's annoying. I was kind of hoping, like, if you were to click on these, if you were to click on these things, it would just do it there in the window instead of taking me back to this. Like, it's not doing anything right now. Because I said, show me Euler vaults on Sonic. So I'll just repeat it. Now, what's good about this is that if you are, a newer user, this will help break down a lot of that insight specifically, right? If you knew nothing about Euler, this would be interesting to at least give you a head start on what to do. Because the hardest part is, I have no idea what Euler is. if I go back to these agents things, and there's Euler, you can lend and withdraw tokens on Euler. Doesn't really say more about that, right? Or you don't know that that Euler is a lending AMM. It's an automated money market where you can go and both supply tokens and earn yield, and also withdraw. There's an execution tab on the top. Oh, this tab, right? Right. So we have all of these different things, and again, and my point is, if you're brand new, you may not really know how to navigate this. You don't know what any of this means. So that's probably one thing that if I were to talk to the team, we are an education company. We'd love to partner up and create guides for you guys, giving you some feedback here. Maybe a friendlier thing if you're brand new, maybe like a tour. You're like, why does all this matter to me? What can this really help me achieve? Right? Yeah, for someone who's like myself, who's been in this space for almost 6 years, yeah, this makes sense and what I want to do. Is this going to replace what I want to do? Maybe. If there was like a way to create custom workflows, like if I had a workflow that when I come in and click a button, it just automatically goes and gets me my mind share, checks on what the vault rates are at all of these places, with one click. Like I could have these saved prompts and just have a prompt that I could star, and that's something I execute. Does all that for me, or just does all that for me on like a time related job. That'd be cool. I don't think I see that here. But anyway, Greg mentioned in one of the comments to click the execution tab at the top. So let's do that. And that just shows me all the agents that have execution aligned to it. So like with Shadow, one of the top dexes on Phantom Sonic, shout out to 24 and the rest of his team. We can swap one USDC.E to USDT on Shadow, or swap 100S to Shadow on Shadow. Okay. So if I were to, those are the only two suggested prompts. I don't think I have anything on Shadow. Let's look. And the token ledger a little slow today. All right. So I do have some S token. I have some Shadow token. I have some X33. Some of this other stuff. Not a ton on this wallet. Anyway, let's do the X33 piece. Actually, let's do the Shadow piece. So I need to, if I click on that button, it should tell me that I don't have it. Yep, cool. So then I can just say swap. And again, so I can say check my Shadow balance. And this is useful. This part's good. All right. I don't have a direct tool to check token balances. That did say check my S balance up there, did it not? All right. Anyway, swap Shadow, swap all my Shadow to X33. Swap Shadow to S token. Now I can understand that, it may not do well at doing Shadow and X33. Now X33 is the liquid staked version of X Shadow. All right, well, whatever. I guess it's not going to work. Let's look at Explore Agents. Let's see. Here's one. Show me Morpho vaults. Morpho is a fantastic lending AMM that has really deep collateralization roots through multiple vaults cross-chain now, through multiple blockchains. It's the back end for Coinbase on Coinbase.com. If you do a DeFi-based loan on Coinbase, it actually uses Morpho on the back end. One of them is certainly going to be Morpho. Show me Morpho vaults with APY utilization rates on Base. High APY stablecoin vaults greater than 6%. So the SMUSDC vault is above that. That's fine. We can certainly look at that to see how that looks. So I guess there's this piece, right? So you have the ability to at least see what's available. Now, for most people, they don't think 6.79 is all that crazy. And I can understand that, especially if you've been hearing a lot of 100x things and 1000%. But ultimately, a lot of people in our group, they're okay with this because let's say I go back to earn here. The ability to get anywhere on your money, and this is mostly stablecoin collateral that you're putting in, and getting greater than 6% all the way up to 20% is really good. 20% is like the holy grail, right? Go to your savings and loan place, like your bank. Are you getting 9% on your money for stablecoins? No, of course not. You probably won't even get that on like a 3-month CD or a 3-year CD. In any case, let's go back here. Exploring the agents. There's some really cool things we can do. Obviously, research seems to be one thing it wants to hang its hat on. Swapping didn't work well for Shadow. Kyber swap should be fine. And if this is going to be cross-chain, let's do this to set this up correctly. The problem is I can't suggested prompts, right? If I had like the UI literally just sitting right here, as opposed to going back to where we were, like for example, swap 0.5 ETH for USDC on Kyber swap. I mean, that's not something that I can necessarily do right away, but easily. What do I have? Maybe spinner. Okay, let's try and see if we can set it up for success here. I want this to be a good demo, guys. I really do. I really do. All right, so I have not a whole lot on this wallet. That's kind of bad for this because it's not going to work, right? So if I just say swap 10 MNT for ETH with the best rates, that doesn't signify what blockchain it is. I don't even have 10. I don't have 10 MNT. Do I have anything on Mantle? I mean, it's fine that it's asking the question. I just want to make sure that we're setting this up. I have $9 worth. Actually, I do have 10 MNT. So then in this case, we have our yes, I want to swap on the Mantle network. And Kyber swap being an aggregator, it's going to go and find the best route that's out there, and we'll be able to hopefully do this quickly. Swapping 10 Mantle for 0.002 ETH. Wrong chain, switch to Mantle. That's fine. Rabbi will do that automatically, as you can see. Now I can confirm. So from that standpoint, I guess that's fine. And you can't see my window here, but I'm gonna use the gas account so I can pay for this account, this transaction stable coins. And this should be fine. Great. Got one thing to do. We got to do one thing. Not too worried about that. Let's look at badges real quick before we go back to seeing what's available. Badge holders will share a reward of 4 billion Infinit stones. Oh, very, very Thanos of them. Okay, so I have to follow Infinite, which I do. Silly gooses. Okay, so all of these badges I have to do, and I already follow them, so. Complete the task on, oh, lend on innate capital through Infinit. Okay. Infrared badge. Stake on Infrared through Infinit. See, what would be good is if there was like a prompt, or something for me to go there instead of like, oh, I guess I should go do that. How do I do that? Okay, so that's badges. Back to agents. And again, this is all great that they've got this set up. It's just not the friendliest, right? Okay, so bridge tokens. That'll be fun. Let's try that. Well, I have these different prompts here. I mean, I wish there was a way for me just to write the prompt and then it comes back to, doing the thing. So I can bridge any asset across multiple chains, right? What do I have here? And that's probably on me for not getting that set up previously, but let's see. So what do I have here? Do I have any? I have ETH on Arbitrum. Let's just do that. Bridge $5 in ETH from Arbitrum to base. Now, the swarms are working in the background, right? So if we're coming back to the whole purpose of this one-click agentic DeFi, prompt to strategy from multi-step strategy to one-click execution, right? So we have the ability to, this looks like hyperswap to something I don't recognize, to something I don't recognize, to something I don't recognize, Aave to Pendle to Athena. And it is compiled as deterministic code, so there's no hallucinations. That's always nice. And they're all bundled into one transaction, leveraging both ERC 4337 and EIP 7702 technology. That's good. That's actually very good, because that's better for you guys. So EIP 7702, what that did for EVM was literally put everything under one transaction, whereas you had to have two transactions, an approval and then an execution transaction. If you go to like Cosmos, if you go to Solana, that's all put in one transaction for you. You don't have to worry about that. So that's what the EIP 7702 with the most recent fork upgrade for ETH did, was bring that in for a UX upgrade. Okay, so I prepared the bridge. Not 5. That certainly doesn't look right. All right. Because it says you'll be bridging ETH worth $5, right? From our no, that's not what that says. 0.001 ETH from, how much I have? And again, I just have to come through and just double check how much I have. And yeah, 0.005 from Arbitrum to base. Yes, I know I don't have enough funds to complete the transaction. I'm not going to put 5 ETH worth on the course wallet. There we go. And what's cool, because this is, again, part of EIP 7702, I don't have to do 2 transactions. I can just, and this is clickable, actually. That part's nice. So I can review the bridge if I wanted to inside of Li.fi. So we'll just go ahead and click on confirm the bridge transaction. That part's nice. So from that standpoint, if you're looking for one-click swaps and bridges without having to do the step of, because if I were to go do this in where we normally swap, which is and bridge, which is either in Jumper.exchange or in DeFi Llama Swap, yes, we still have to do the 2-step process. Here it does this without that, so that part's nice. I'll definitely give them that kudos for that they have EIP 7702 built into this, so I don't have to worry about that. Greg, I think my shadow on Sonic was regular shadow, not X shadow. But yeah, that's good. I like the fact that you can do the one transaction process here on what's going on here. So again, kudos to that. Probably the best thing I've seen so far on Infinit, to be quite honest. Do I get a badge? Any badge? Please tell me I at least get a base badge. I have to do a base chain one because there's not one for arbitrage. Well, that is booty cakes. Well, I guess we can certainly do that, right? What did I just send? What did I just send? Base chain. All right, so uh, I sent a little bit over, right? Let's do that. So let's go back home. We just did the 0.001 swap ETH on base to USDC on base. Now it's important that you actually distinguish that, because Uniswap, at least if they're using Uniswap under the hood, it is cross-chain now using a cross. So you should be in the habit of saying what blockchain for swaps, because it can go anywhere. Perfect. So that is wrong chain, switch to base. Do that. Very good. And then confirm. And then I can sign for this. So what's interesting is the bridge through Li-Fi didn't need me to pull up Rabby. It does here, which is it's fine because I don't have to do the approval process. So it is still in one thing. And what's good about that is I can actually switch to on Rabby, and you can't see this, but the gas account is going to be what I want to use here. And the gas account, if you're not familiar, it's a really big game changer that we recommend. Why we recommend Rabby, because it allows you to pay for all of your transactions for any wallet that you have connected in Rabby, whether it's multiple other wallets you have there or your hardware wallet, can use stable coins. And you just go to the gas account dialog inside the wallet. Let me see if I can pull it up, if they allow a way to do that. I know certain wallets allow you to go full screen, but yeah, it's not looking like I can do that. No. I was hoping there's like a side thing here, but I don't see that. At least you can see the gas account. That's good. You can see that there. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm using stables, which I loaded. You can load USDC or USDT from multiple blockchains to do that. And you have to do them. It used to be the minimum of 20. Now it's just $10. And as you can see, I'm just paying for that in stable coins. And that's the real game changer of the gas account. Now I know there are other smaller wallets like Control, which used to be XDeFi. They also have something like this, but I think Rabby has just got too many good things going for it with regards to revoking approvals, just having human readable things, token ledger, because it's built by the DBank team. And just this gas account is just such a game changer. If the base app, the new Coinbase wallet, does this, yeah, I think that's a good way to recommend that, but it doesn't, to my knowledge. And there's a couple other bugs that they have in there that they hope that I need them to squash before I can even recommend it. So as you can see, that swap happened successfully. Great. So now, again, coming back to things that you'd want to do, we did the bridge, we did the swap, we've done the research piece. So really, that's kind of all that I think is, we can look at providing LP. So it's just on Berachain, on Kodiak, and Bex, which I don't know if I'm specifically too jazzed about, to be honest, because that means I have to bridge money to Berachain. Oh, okay. So I can do multiple. That's cool. That's cool. So I don't have to like switch in between. So I have those three up there. Stake and unstake on Beats, which is the old Beethoven X on Phantom Sonic. That would be my answer. Let's check out Fluid. So Fluid from Insidap is just it's a lending AMM, but they use cross-chain vaults. So you can actually do them across multiple blockchains. I mean, we can choose this prompt, that's fine. But I'd rather take the prompt and do it on base. So we'll copy that. I have the opportunity to copy there as well. So if I do this on base, I have no way to stop this. Okay, there we go. Looks like, is that the right one? Nope, that's on Ethereum. Let me get it on base. And again, I appreciate the swarms, the ability to go out and deal with the infrastructure to bring back all of this information back to us. Is it completely one click? It is, but just in a different way than I was expecting. Like I said, I came into this completely blind, not really sure what to expect. It's okay so far. It covers a lot of ground with regards to ecosystems. I'm a big fan of Brahma and Avocado. Those don't quite, in Odyssey Finance, from our friends at Odyssey Finance. This is not bad. Could it be better? Yeah, I think so. Active lending markets, there's a USDC pool on Fluid that gets a supply rate, which is what we would be looking at, because we're not looking to borrow anything, we're just looking to supply. And that, just to give you a heads up with regards to what we do at Beacon in our education, what we're looking for as a strategy here is you're just trying to have a better version of a savings account on chain, right? Because when you supply USDC on base, you're earning 3.61%. Not bad. I mean, there's some spots that are better. Euler would be one of them. We can actually pull that up. And my internet's kind of slow today, sadly. But let me switch back to base. And do they have a USDC that's above that? There's a base one at 5.64. I'm guessing that it's going to be higher on probably Arbitrum. Yeah, 8.63, which is not bad. I mean, it's fairly high utilization. That's why the rates are so high, because there's high utilization. So there's a lot of supply. I mean, there's a lot of demand for the supply that's in there. Yeah, I don't have a ton of USDC. I have some ETH, 6%. That's not terrible. It's not great. Unichain had like a 30% at one point. And that's Uniswap's layer 2. How about on Avalanche? Avalanche has been pretty darn good on everything. Look at that. Euro C, 30%, 31% almost, but that's because there's 95% utilization. So if you supply in here with the Euro C, there's a chance that you may not be able to remove all your money in one shot because it's most likely borrowed. But if you're okay with that, that's fine. Now Elixir, DEUSD at 12.73 is pretty good. Again, high utilization there. The staked version it's pretty good. It's all through K3. And I don't think I can do that through Infinit. So that's the thing. Infinit's only available on different things. So let me do the one thing that we always do when we look at protocols. Again, we wanted to kind of figure out, is it one click? We weren't able to set up the Twitter account for the wallet, so that was unfortunate, and it is what it is. We tried several times, and of course the CAPTCHA killed the momentum on a lot of that, in my personal opinion. But we have some badges that are available. I did do a base transaction. Maybe it just takes time. Regardless, all chains. Okay, so Avalanche isn't an option. So even if I wanted to do that with Euler, I wouldn't get a chance to do it. So because even though Euler is available on Avalanche, Infinit with its agent is not. So there's that limitation. But it does have Solana. So that's interesting. And again, it's just taking it. What's nice about this, it is multi-chain. So as long as you have a wallet that can do that, that's fine. Let's see if it'll do it. I'm curious to see how it does this. Yeah, see, I don't have a Solana wallet, so I'd have to get that going, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It's okay. So it would do that. It would connect that wallet, and then I'd have to reconnect the other wallet to go back, my Rabby wallet to go back that way. So there's that. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and check out the rewards, shall we? Actually, let's check out. We didn't check out DeFi execution yet, so let's do that. I'm guessing that it's going to be what we saw here in the Explore agent. So swap by PTYT. So that's with Pendle, and that's outside the scope of what we're doing, because if you're brand new, you won't know what Pendle is. Lending, bridging, staking, providing LP. So if we do lending, well, lend 0.002 ETH on Arbitrum to Fluid. Was it Fluid? Because I'm going to go to the actual website. I want to set this up so it actually works well. Arbitrum 1, Fluid.io for lending. ETH is at a staggering 0.9% of the net APR. Whatever. It's for the demo. In the wrapped ETH pool. And again, if you're brand new, you may not know how to do this. This may not make sense to you. So I think it's definitely something that will be something that we need to work with the team on with regards to education. I noticed that Fluid Protocol is not supported on the Arbitrum chain. I disagree with you there, brother or sister or genderless entity. All right. So it's a good time to to mosey over and talk about our free group here at Total Value Locked from Beacon DeFi, the home of Beat the Banks. We do this training every Friday. As you can see here, there's a calendar moment for it here that we do it for. Again, so it's completely free to join. If you want to learn a little bit more, you enjoyed the value I gave to you today, would love to learn more, please check out our group here at Total Value Locked. It's absolutely free to join. School.com/beacon. Learn from the best and the best. Learn from me and my co-founders. What I would recommend is to check out Start Here Post and just check out our paths. We have multiple paths. We have a lot of free content that we're giving away. We also have our Beacon Challenge, which is a way for you to earn your first DeFi dollar in 48 hours through our challenge course. I will say tomorrow we do have a webinar. It's called The State of Crypto. We do this roughly every quarter. We're doing it tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. There is the link here if you want to sign up for that. Feel free to do so. Would love to have you join us and learn a little bit more about what we do, get our insights into kind of what's been driving a lot of the activity for the last 2-3 months. But yeah, that is this is our home base. This is here at Total Value Locked. Like I said, we do have a podcast that we do every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's on here on Twitter as well as our YouTube and all of our socials. And starting next Tuesday, we're having our first Twitter space. That'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to feature Rainmaker, great product that is on the base blockchain. They're actually coming on with their Rain token. So if you're interested in that and do that, just kind of keep your eyes peeled out for the Twitter. Feel free to follow us, please. Would love if you do. And that is at Beacon DeFi is the name of all of our socials. Just at Beacon DeFi on all of these platforms. So we talked a little bit about Infinit Labs. Was it completely one click? Kind of. But to be fair, to give them the credit, they put in a lot of work for what we're seeing here. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. There's definitely a lot more room for improvement. Happy to take any takes if you think I totally missed the mark on this, but I think what you can do, there's a decent amount, right? A lot of this is research based, so I'm curious to see from a research perspective, how they came up with that, why they're showing information like this. The bridging and lending, or rather the bridging and swapping is fine. That is something that is going to be very convenient because it does have EIP 7702 built in to the protocol, so you only have that one transaction, especially if you're on the EVM side, so you don't have to worry about that. Outside of that, yeah, I think there's still a lot of room to improve, and just thanks again to the Infinit Labs team for creating this. Hopefully, you can take, if you're watching this, take some of my feedback to heart and ways to make it a lot easier for newer users to really get in here and actually find this as a tool of convenience. Definitely, if you've been in this space for a little bit, more than 6 months to a year, a lot of this is going to be useful information for you, hopefully, or something you can use to put into your workflow that makes things a lot easier. But in the event that you're brand new, a lot of this will be very confusing and most likely come above your head. So we'll be here again next Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, to go over another topic. If there's something you'd like for me to cover, feel free to reach out. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at @CSoriano. And we'll talk more then. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care. As we say in this group, beacons up, banks down. Keep beating the banks out there. And have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.